We're starting it
The
now.
Lions are now on the clock.
All right, this is Dion Jacobson here, bringing you back to Savage Sports Network, where we're here at the draft with the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Miami Dolphins are on the clock. I'm still here with two-time Super Bowl champion and former Miami Dolphin, current Oakland Raider. Signed that big money check, Darrell Garrison. Now, Rel, where would you advise the Dolphins on going right now?
Quarterback, they need a quarterback.
Trey Cook is still on the board, but William Edmonds is also still on the board. A good outside linebacker. His combine was really great. He was projected as a late first rounder. Has fallen all the way to the third round. So you think they should still go with quarterback, even though the next best quarterback is projected to be a fourth rounder?
At this point, you gotta go with you need the most. And if it's a linebacker, good. If it's a quarterback, good. But just gotta pick somebody that can help out the team.
This is true. This is true.
Giants are now on the clock.
All right, Rel, we have the pick. His name is William Edmonds. Is who the Miami Dolphins take. He has 90 speed. He's pretty fast. Good hit power. Great zone coverage for a rookie linebacker. Needs to work on his awareness and his ability to receive. Has great jumping, nice injury, great pursuit. But needs to work on his non-hit stick style tackling. Doesn't seem like a blitzer at all. So he seems like a 4-3 style linebacker, a stand up and track the ball down style linebacker. What do you think?
From looks of it, he could either play outside linebacker or middle linebacker. So we'll see what the Dolphins can do. But I like the pick though.
So back again with the Miami Dolphins on the clock. They picked 4 spots later. They just took William Edmonds. What do you think they should go with now? Still have Darian Johnson, Tyrese Washington on the board. Both projected to be early second-round picks. Both had really good combines. The speedster Tyrese Washington out of Ohio State. The alma mater of your best friend Anthony Leroy Jr. Which one would you suggest?
Okay, last pick he went defense. This one he could go offense.
All right, Rel, the Miami Dolphins pick is in. They went with the receiver out of Ohio State, Tyrese Washington. A nice speedster, is good catching, good short medium route running. Reminds me a little of Larry Fitzgerald, just a slightly more athletic. What do you think of him?
I think this is a good pickup for them because they need a receiver, like I said earlier. And with his intangibles, he could be like Larry Fitzgerald.
All right, might be looking to replace the young Anthony Leroy Jr. already. All right, the Miami Dolphins are back on the clock. Not long after their last pick. Darian Johnson is still there. They only have one current player on their defensive side of the ball. They need to start looking over there. Would you suggest they go ahead and pick him up?
I'm say go for that right end. Give a little power rush. And besides, if I'm not mistaken, you're a LSU fan, ain't that right?
Of course. Go Tigers all day. I would love to see Darian Johnson. I've seen him a lot in college. He was a really great pass rusher. Came in third in the NCAA in sacks. Didn't really have the mental ability. He had a lot of penalties on him, but when it comes to pure athleticism, he's your guy. All right, the pick is in. The Miami Dolphins have selected Darian Johnson.
Your boy.
Of course, it's my guy. He's been on the show a couple times. A great pass rusher. Needs to work on his secure tackling. Even though he led the NCAA in was third in NCAA in sacks. He also was number one in pressures, but also number one in missed tackles.
That's something you gotta improve on, the missed tackles.
Of course. No, you weren't too much known for your tackling, but you surely worked hard on it. And once you hit the NFL, you became a great sure tackler.
Oh yeah, after I did poorly in Miami, and I just went back to the basics of tackling 1-on-1.
Of course. As we're back with Miami in the end of the third round. So they have a lot of options here they can go with. A couple receivers, some middle linebacker, free safeties, defensive tackles. They do need a new center and a right tackle. What would you suggest they go with in this as they end the third round? That quarterback is not here anymore, so only quarterback I would suggest personally would be Julius Agnew out of Alabama, but we all know Alabama quarterbacks turn out.
Ooh, shots fired. How are they on secondary?
They do not have anybody on roster for their secondary.
I go secondary of this one.
So they should go with the free safety Tyrus Bell out of Penn State. Ran a 4.47
yes.
He looks amazing on paper. Let's see what they do. All right, the pick is in. They have Tyrus Bell, who looks to be a star at the next level. Looks like he could develop. Great tackler, great speed. He needs to work on his coverage ability, but as an in-the-box safety, what he was known at in Penn State, he looks to be elite, and he reminds me a lot of Cam Chancellor. He's probably just a little smaller, but he brings all the intangibles that Cam Chancellor did. What do you think of him?
He might be small, but he can lay the boom on somebody.
This is true. As we're back with the Miami Dolphins, in the 5th pick in the 4th round, who do you suggest they go with?
I want to go defense again. They need a corner.
Yeah, I would suggest that too. Just go with team needs and best available.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
And it seems the Miami Dolphins pick is in with Darian Sturdivant, zone style safety out of the College of Eastern Michigan. Has 92 speed, really good zone coverage, pretty decent man. Wasn't that good at catching or tackling. Didn't really bring the athleticism to the game that he should have. But as a press man-to-man, as a press zone, as a back-off zone safety, he was pretty good. As a bump and run safety, goddamn, that's the word.
Remind me a little bit of me.
Yeah,
like almost saying kind of intangibles.
Yeah, but you had a lot better catching than he did.
That is true, but give him time. He could progress to be a better corner in the league.
All right, the pick is in. The Miami Dolphins take Jamar Fontenot out of Georgia Tech. He was just a great tackler for the most part. Didn't really bring he was a pass rusher when he could just go. He was great when it was a play action pass rush. He was really good because it was easier for him to see the ball and get to the ball, but straight up pass rushing was not really his thing. But we're going to see how he works out with the Miami Dolphins. At this point, they can take any help they can get.
Because I mainly saw him as a run stopper, but give him a chance, he could put pressure to the quarterback by being a pass rush type of guy, but we'll see how he can adjust to the NFL.
Now on the clock.
All right, the Miami Dolphins select Eric Curry with 94 speed at 6'2". That is something to look out for. Can't run routes that well at all. Has shown ability to break off of off of presses. Can run block pretty decently for a receiver. Has pretty decent, showing a pretty decent ability to kick return. He had 2 in his final season at LA Tech. He is great catching. Is known to make a lot of catches over cornerbacks. What do you think of him?
I think, like, of course, his route running is horrible, but that's what you get from a guy who's basically ran track in high school, played 1 year of football, high school football, then get a college offer to LA Tech, and they really just have him as a deep threat, not even receiving,
a lot of his routes were primarily fly routes.
But
Are now on the clock.
All right. With the 125th pick, the Miami Dolphins select Benjamin Katz out of Florida State. A great power run blocker, could get people off the ground, but he lacked a lot of speed when it came to continuing plays down the field and pulling style plays.
This pick came to a total shock to me. I thought they were going to go for like a quarterback or maybe even a tight end, but a left tackle?
Yeah,
he's good, but, he played for State, boo. I was playing.
The young fella looks like he can develop into something nice.
Maybe he can replace DeMar's Bentley.
Dolphins are now on the clock.
Miami Dolphins select Javis Brown. He is the best available. He lacks the ability to tackle and catch as well, but he brings a lot of different things. He was a great lockdown corner, all the way up in Marshall. Boston was shutting down every receiver. Even Alabama came to play them one day, and he did shut down almost all of their receivers that he was matched up against.
Yeah, I like this pick for some of the fact that he could play anywhere. He could play outside, inside.
He can play north, south.
He can play a little bit of dime.
He can play anything. You name it, he plays it. Bars. All right, the Miami Dolphins do have back-to-back picks, and they will be selecting.
The Eagles are now on the clock.
All right, it seems the Miami Dolphins have selected Devontae Hanna out of UAB. Coming in running a really fast 40 at 4.47. He didn't bring the same strength to the party that the Dolphins are used to, but he is a great coverage corner with pretty decent agility. Just needs to work on his ability to keep track of where he's supposed to be on the field, and he seems like he could be a great player for the Miami Dolphins in the future.
From what I heard about him, he was a safety turned linebacker in sophomore in college.
Yes, he was. So yes, he needs to work on his tackling ability, but as for starting off as a rookie, it's not bad. Not bad at all. The Dolphins finally select quarterback, and it's Julius Agnew out of Alabama. A strong arm style quarterback with has broken a lot of sacks in his time in Alabama. Cannot really move that well, but if you give him time and he can find anybody open on the field.
From what I gathered about him is that he's a bit of a troublemaker off the field. That's why he fell this far to the draft.
His draft stock did fall. He was arrested for stealing headphones out of Best Buy. But
he also got into an argument with head coach Nick Saban as well after a game against Texas A&M.
Nick Saban don't play that, so he was not really feeling him. He did get benched for the rest of that season, but he came back his sophomore year, performed really well. But injury, the beginning of his sophomore year, did hold him back all the way up until to the second half of the season, that's why we don't have that much game tape on him. That's why he was drafted.
Lions are now on the
Chris
clock.
Stilley, like I suggested, are they listening to me? My God, it's a miracle. Might actually win some more games this year. But coming in,
I
he was
doubt it.
great. Coming in, he was a great run blocker. They did run a lot of option in Pittsburgh, especially triple option, so he was able to practice his run blocking a lot. They didn't throw the ball as much, and when they did, it wasn't really good. They had terrible left tackles, so they weren't able to really do that well when it came to run blocking. Pass blocking. I apologize.
Ravens are now on the clock.
All right, the Dolphins pick is in. They select right in Micah Johnson out of Arkansas State. Coming in as a great finesse rusher. Wasn't able to bring the quarterback down sometimes due to his inability to tackle as well. But sometimes he was able to just muscle him down off of pure size and strength. What do you think about him?
I like the pick. Like I said earlier, guy coming from a small school again, chip on the shoulder. You can move him to left end, you can put it right in. He probably played D tackle.
Probably could. To work on his strength a little bit, but he probably could play anywhere on the defensive line.
The Lions are now on the clock.
In the 6th round, the Miami Dolphins select right outside linebacker Dontavis Delancey. Didn't really. I guess they're just trying to fill up roster spots at this point. He wasn't really that great. He got the job done. It was just a mediocre style player in college.
Injuries and suspensions. Yeah. That's the main issue with him. Is injuries and suspension. Early in his career, yeah, injuries, and then later in his career, suspensions for stupid stuff, getting ejected, fighting, that type of stuff.
Yeah, it didn't really showed a lot of promise, but didn't really deliver on that promise later in his career. All right, Miami Dolphins are back on the clock. They have chosen Patrick Chandler.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Out of Boston College.
Whoa, this late?
Yeah, they went with a running back. Wasn't really a burner, but had a lot of strength. Could really go through a lot of different players. Really just kept running forward, kept his head down. Pretty smart when it came to learning about his playbook and everything. But just as a running back, he just ran forward and never stopped moving. Wasn't really that fast, but he could get through anything apparently.
Little beast mode, as I called him. He's 6 foot, 235 pounds.
Not really stopping him.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
4-2 at fullback.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Oh, shit. Huh? Miami Dolphins select. Hold on. Miami Dolphins select Richie Fleener out of Arkansas, fullback. He was the primary ball carrier for the Miami Dolphins, for Arkansas through his whole career. Really fast. He's faster than a lot of running backs. He's faster than the running back that the Dolphins just drafted. He has been run through people. Wasn't really good at blocking, which made it weird that they had him set two fullback for the Arkansas Razorbacks, but he had over 200 rushing yards against Mississippi State and Ole Miss in his final season.
I heard they call him Lil Peyton Hillis. But man, him as a fullback with a 4.42 this late?
He reminds me of Jerome Bettis with Jamal Charles speed. Alright, the Miami Dolphins have selected Cameron Garvin out of LA Tech, joining his teammate out of LA Tech, which the Dolphins have drafted earlier. Looks to be a project-style player. Isn't that fast, but brings a lot of effort onto the field. Was a leader at LA Tech. Was their captain for all 5 years actually. I'm sorry, he was there for 5 years. He did get redshirted his freshman year.
Ocean. Ocean.